A number of influential New York lawmakers, including Representatives Nadler and Ocasio-Cortez, have now called for the resignation of Governor Cuomo in the light of new allegations of harassment, including one that was referred to law enforcement. My first question is simply this: does the president believe the governor should resign?
The president believes that every woman who's come forward, there have now been 6, I believe, who have come forward, deserves to have her voice heard, should be treated with respect, and should be able to tell her story. There also is an independent investigation that is ongoing, of course, in the state with subpoena power overseen by the Attorney General, and he certainly supports that moving forward. We, of course, have watched the news of a number of lawmakers call for that, but I don't have any additional announcements from here.
A follow-up on this: in light of the investigation, in light that he has had some of his pandemic response powers taken away, does the White House still have faith in Governor Cuomo if he remains in his position, overseeing the response to the pandemic in the state of New York?
Well, we certainly don't want anyone in the state of New York to be penalized, meaning not have access to vaccines, to vaccinators, not have access to funding from the rescue plan. And certainly we will continue to work with a range of officials to get that done and get it implemented. But the president and our COVID response team works with governors across the country, including Governor Cuomo, to implement these plans, and we'll continue to do that.
Okay, and one other topic.
Go ahead.
There are more than 10 million doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine in the U.S. that can't be administered here, but could save lives in Europe and other places in the world if the company was freed from the obligation to deliver those doses to the U.S. government. The company has appealed to the administration to let them export those doses. Why has the president not agreed?
Well, let me just take a step back here and explain kind of what's going on here. First, as we've stated a few times, but worth restating, the president's priority and focus is on ensuring that the American people are vaccinated. Obviously, he made some significant announcements last night about the timeline of that, and we will have enough doses in our hands by the end of May to ensure we can make that happen. AstraZeneca is also not yet approved by the FDA. We also want to make sure we have maximal flexibility, that we are oversupplied and overprepared, and that we have the ability to provide vaccines, whatever the most effective ones are, to the American public. There are still 1,400 people who are dying in our country every single day, and we need to focus on addressing that. At this time, there have been requests around the world, of course, from a number of countries who have requested doses from the United States, and we have not provided doses from the U.S. government to anyone. So this is not about Europe. This is about our focus and our priority, which we have been very public and clearly stated. And what you're referencing in terms of access to doses, of course, the production, part of the production is through the defense, is enabled because of the Defense Production Act. There is a contract obligation to deliver on the U.S. doses and to fulfill that contract. But any company, AstraZeneca is not a U.S. company. They can also work with, and even if they were, they can work with any country to fulfill and to work on a deal to get access to doses. Go ahead.
Jen, if I
I'm
can,
voting in checks.
we just heard from Jake Sullivan talking about on immigration, the need to have a consistent and continued message to communicate to migrants that the border is closed right now. We saw Ambassador Jacobson. He says there has to be a message on the airwaves and in that region as well. If you want to send the message to migrants that the border is closed, shouldn't President Biden be the one who is clearly delivering that message?
Well, he did do an interview with Univision about 2 weeks ago and made that absolutely clear. And I certainly expect he will look for the opportunity to do exactly that. I will note, however, that he is one of the voices. Ambassador Jacobson is one of the voices. There are a number of effective voices in the region, including leaders in the region, including partners we need to have in the region, NGOs and others, to deliver the same message that now is not the time to come, that the majority of people are turned away at the border, which is backed up by factual data, that adults, families will be turned away at the border in almost every scenario. And so that is part of the data and part of the information that we're looking for partnership to deliver in the region.
Is it working?
Well, again, Peter, I think we know, we've seen the numbers that CBP puts out on a regular basis. We know there are more children under the age of 18 who are, of course, coming across the border. That is consistent with what our policy has been. But in terms of people who were turned away, who are coming to the border, who are turned away, I mean, those numbers, are people hearing that? Are they still making the journey? I don't have any further analysis of that. I know that what people are looking at is that there are more children who are coming across the border, and we've certainly confirmed and acknowledged that.